What space do you work in? I've been hearing this for the last 2 years now. And I thought it was just like a trendy thing to say, and I think it is a trendy thing to say. What space do you work in? Before we get there, I'm going to ask you a question. How would you like to have a job where anyone you run into and talk to has the potential of making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for you? How would you like a job where you decide when you show up, if you show up at the office, and when you work? How would you like a job where there's unlimited potential for income and your supervisor can't tell you everything that you need to do? They only can tell you certain things that you can do. They can't force you to come to meetings. That's what Fran said. Isn't that the job we have? Yeah. Isn't that why you chose real estate? Right? That's why you chose real estate. Here's what I see over and over again, because we've worked with a lot of agents. I have this thing called Cognos, and I go in there. It's my reporting, accounting. So when I want to pull reports, I go in there, and then I could choose certain. There's one list of agents that I have, and the list of agents is, if I go into the one area, which is just my management history, and it has all the agents. There's like tons of agents I've worked with, right? Tons of agents. I mean, probably about 800 to 1,000 now. Here's why I bring that up. Is then I think back to myself, so many are gone. So many are out of the business. And even though they got in the business for the reasons that we talked about, they got out of the business because they didn't take advantage of it. Because they focused too much on, I don't have to show up for work. I don't have to go in the office. And focus too much on, I have that opportunity for unlimited income instead of, I have opportunity to help people, which is going to reward me for income. So here's what I wonder every day, and you should wonder this too. I would hope you would wonder this too. What did I do today to first enjoy my life and then balance that with the potential for new business? What did I do today? You should ask yourself every single day, what did I do today? Because I bet you sometimes we're going to ask ourselves, yeah, I didn't do so much today. I looked at the MLS a few times. And that might be okay if then you go, but I had a good day, right? As long as you realize you can't continue to have those days if you want income. If you don't need income, that's good. We don't set your goals, you set your goal. But ask that question every single day. And don't be mean to yourself. Why the hell didn't you do anything today? No, don't do that. That's why I say, were you happy today? That's what it's about. It's that balance, right? So you work in the space called real estate or real estate industry. That's the space you're in. The mortgage lender, they're in a different space. They're in the mortgage space. So have you folks heard that term recently? What space are you in? If you go to a workshop, that's all they say. Today we're in the mortgage space, or today we're in the real estate space, or the space that we're in. They say it over and over again. But I want to break it down even further for you. I want to understand your real estate business. Where's your space? And are you famous in that space? Right? Where's that space? Are you famous in that space? Phoebe used to be famous in a space, and maybe she's going to be again. Phoebe, don't answer. What space was Phoebe specialized in? What was her space before? Do you know?
Short sales.
Short sales. And I'll tell you what.
Surfing and short sales.
I'll tell you what, I think I just signed a short sale listing for you over the weekend, didn't I? So she was kind of famous within our office, at least in that space, and maybe outside of there. And here's the thing. Phoebe doesn't go looking for short sales. She actually stopped looking for short sales about 3 years ago. She said, I remember one meeting, she said, I don't want any more short sales. And then she keeps getting them because she's famous in her space. What space are you in? Some of you may not know yet, right? Your first year, you may not know yet. And then Jackie wants to be in every space. She wants to be in the space on this side of the island, right? Do you have a definition of what space you're working in? What your market is, what your style is?
Well, right now, about 80-85% of my business are in the space of West Side.
The West Side space. All right. Okay. And it doesn't have to be geographic. It can be type, be all these different things. Like Michael does videos. Do you do mostly weddings? What do you do?
Well, I've done weddings. I've done music videos, weddings,
Music videos.
Oh, no, don't give him some.
Okay, we're going on a tangent. Okay. Real estate videos. So videos is his space, right? And he can expand that to become more and more famous and bring people into that. Right now, most of that are people that see you as a videographer, as a photographer. Some see you as a realtor also, but you could be famous within that space, right? Who works primarily military? I thought our whole office. No? No? All right. Wow. So here's my point. If you don't know the space that you work in, if you can't describe it, you can never be famous in that space. Why do we want to be famous in a specific identity or space? Why? What's that? No, ego, pure ego. No, you're right. Could be prosperity. Could be a lot of different things, but it definitely prosperity, because then you're getting referrals. Once you become famous in that area, and that's why people do the supermarket carts, and they do the billboards at the malls, and they put themselves up in the theater, right? They put themselves up there, and it's because they want to be famous in their identity, in their space. And when they are, people are going to call them. They're not going to call them just because they see one ad, but they're going to call them because they reached out to them at one point and say, yeah, I need real estate. I'm going to go after them. So let me ask you, how many people, because people are different, raise your hand, and everyone's got to raise their hand. I always say that because half the people don't raise their hand at all. How many people, and it's okay because I want this, I know a lot of you want this, how many people do you want to be famous in your space? Raise your hands high, not low. Okay, all right. Okay, how many people do not want, you don't have to be, some people don't want to be, right? Some people don't, and you don't need to be to do well in business. Some people don't want to be because they want to be within their own life, within their old world. They want to be that humble, I don't need anything else. How many people don't want to be famous in their space? Raise your hand. Okay, some people didn't raise their hand because I only saw like 70% being famous. It's okay not wanting to be famous. It's not good or
They
bad.
don't want to be seen at all. They're not going to raise their hand for anything.
So challenge yourself to think of something that'll help do that. If you don't know of anything that'll help raise the level of awareness of you and your space, come talk to Donna and I, and we'll brainstorm, figure out how to do that. I will tell you there are ways to do it without money. There are ways to do it without money. Who told me this recently? Oh, my friend Conrad. Conrad used to work for us. He's in marketing. He told me that Riddick Bowe, does anyone know who Riddick Bowe is? Well, no, you know who Riddick Bowe is. Horrible reputation, by the way, but he's famous because he was a world champion boxer years ago, right? But he's just one example. Riddick Bowe will tweet out, and he has millions of followers, he will tweet out whatever you want for $20. Whatever you want, he will tweet it out for 20 bucks. Right? I'm just thinking of doing that just for fun, but then I remember his reputation, and maybe I don't want to do that. I think he went jail for like domestic violence, all this kind of stuff. But so I'm thinking Sienna and Naya, they got like 75,000 on Instagram. Can I pay them to? Where's Linda? Can I pay them to tweet? I bet there are people out there that all you have to do is pay them, and they will tweet or post something for you, right? That's how you can be famous. There's different ways. So think about it. It feels really good when someone walks up to you and says, Myra, you're Myra, right? I remember, I saw you on, and they don't know you. Feels pretty good, huh? And then they say, I knew I had to call you because I need something. I heard about you, and I got to buy something in real estate. So we want that. Okay, let's move on.